Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Incredible Sim Racing Challenge, that of Race Car Graveyard Truck Series here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as the drivers tonight head to Sonoma. But before we get to more racing action here tonight on Monday Night Racing Action, gotta give a big thanks to our sponsors. That at Race Car Graveyard. Race Car Graveyard is a great place to start if you want to start collecting that of diecast, going from that of 1/24th to 1/64th ratios. If you are looking for new, used, or custom, they've got you covered on your diecast. As well, go look them up on Instagram at Race Car Graveyard to get yourself 10% off. Use the promo code RCGY. As tonight, it's the Wine Country Clash here at Sonoma Raceway. It's going to be a little bit of a longer race than it was last season, and cannot wait to give you all the coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall, as well as Robert Moyer Jr. running productions in the background. Zach, here tonight, road course racing. Should be an interesting one for these drivers overall.
That it will be, Sam. We were here not too long ago here at Sonoma in those playoffs, and man, what a race we got there. They added 5 laps here, as we've seen a strategy where Danny Cochran took the win there and stretched it with a no stop there, as the fuel was able to get to that point. Here, 40 laps tonight they added. That's going to be well outside the window, and we'll see if anybody attempts that.
And as well, because we're at a road course, not expecting to see any full course yellows to come out. But if you've been watching these last couple of weeks here on ISRC Truck Series Racing Action on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we've had a lot of wrecks that are coming out. But last week at Gateway, it was a spectacular one to watch. The Gateway race, I cannot believe how crazy it was. Went into overtime. You know what? Instead of just talking about it, let's show it. Some highlights from Gateway last week. Because tonight, it's the Cody Super Epic and Cool Gateway 125. Race number 3 is green, as that of Ethan Smith going to be down below, diving it into turn number 1, holding off the rest of the field. Bonus points and yellow flag strikes. Isaac Shelley going to be the first driver, dropping down low, and major issues coming out of turn number 2 for that of the 98.
Basically, we got another caution on the racetrack.
And that's also going to be Schmock. Both spun around, 2 different incidences. And Isaac Shelley as well involved late into this wreck. And
really behind him is a wrecking. Yep, Gregory Shaw at an outside wall, and I think he got into Kyle Rochelle.
GT Irizarry.
Room there, Brandon Colley making it tough on Whitley, but they're spinning behind his Tamer around.
Jason Tamer in the 81 going to be collecting a few other drivers. Stops it on the road, and Turpin comes in late. As well as going to be seen out of it, but the pass for third has been confirmed. But they're wrecking behind. Oh, it's a big one. They're scattering, they're wrecking, and it's all around the bubble spot of around 8th place on back. And it's not for himself, as yellow flag's going to strike. Let's try it again, and it's the entry of turn 1. Drivers are scattering as they're coming back into pit road, and oh no, driver came back up into the field. Danny Cochran had no way of slowing down, and it's going to be Alexander Light that's going to be involved with the first initial catalyst to start this thing off, as it was drivers stacking on top of one another.
They still stack up there. There's a wrecking back there. There's Kralik going around.
Impressive. Oh, it's right for Roro. Another late block. Late hit's going to be for that Nick Crawford. The yellow flag flies. And Zach, this, with the timing of this caution, will be in that range of 10 to 11 laps to go. Tackle on how to go after the 11. Oh no, contact, Kyle Rochelle, others, they're spinning, they're wrecking, but no yellow is thrown. We stay green. No, there's the yellow.
And there it is, GT sorry, major damage. At the backside of this group, just can't make it out of the wrecking.
Danny Cochran, they're spinning, they're wrecking, and many more gonna be involved with this one. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we needed some overtime. Let's see who's going to get the win here at Gateway. It's Monday Night Racing on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, and we're green for attempt number 1 in overtime. Down into turn number 1, Ethan Smith, John Forbes. They're clean. they're green, and it's going to be side by side with that of Nick Crawford and Zach Wilson, and it's Crawford with a poor center of the corner. Here comes Wilson trying to make the pass as they both wiggle away, but it's Blackjack Racing pulling away up front.
Yeah, and what they want to see is a white flag. They don't want to see anything other than that. As Wilson diving it in there in front of Crawford. He's going to clear him for third. As they're going to round out of 4, they're going to be looking for that white.
Open and see the white flag. If there's a caution before it, we go into attempt number 2, but across the line, it's going to be your ride rad. White flag out there. This race is official. Ethan Smith, he's blinking. John Ford's going to be throwing an intent there and down into turn number 1. Now going to be given an opening, and that one jolt, Zach, that gives it up. Ethan Smith's gone.
Yeah, Ethan Smith has got a huge gap here. I don't think Ford was going to be anywhere near him as he's actually gets spin a little bit. His Reed comes down the track into Crawford there. There's going to be contact. No wrecking across the track.
Just absolutely causing mayhem. What a body slam. Not even trying to give an intent for anybody else. It doesn't matter. It's teammates. 1-2. Ethan Smith winning the Cody Super Epic and Cool Gateway 125. Welcome back after seeing the incredible racing action. Highlights of last week, Zach, were crazy to watch with the amount of cautions that were at Gateway. A tough track for the majority of these drivers to handle, but man, 3 races and 3 different winners. I mean, what are you expecting to see after Gateway moving into this race?
Well, we've seen a lot of guys coming out of that race looking to get away from there and get away from yellow flags. So here, not going to be any of those yellow flags. Going to be completely green here tonight. So trying to make not many mistakes and maybe make up for getting caught up in a few of those big wrecks because we've seen some major issues there at that track in Gateway.
And Gateway also gave us plenty of penalties, which we'll touch on later as drivers have gotten done with practice. We're now starting with qualifying, and we're watching the Ford Nick Crawford, or is it Nick Crawford, as he's trying to stay on track. Spider-Man deciding to come out, and Zach got a little bit of a shrine of MJ right there on the side as well.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Fully living up to the whole aspect there of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Here's him coming across the lap here to start, or sorry, to end this first lap there. It's gonna be 18:54. Let's see if he can pick up anything right now. That's gonna be about 4th on the board. So Spider-Man looking pretty quick there as he's gonna drop down the 5th.
As right now, I mean, looking for Nick Crawford, he's gonna hope that he's got some spidey senses for when this race starts, but 5th currently on the board for himself. But Zach, this track going through 3B, now heading down into turn number 4. This Ford machine looking like 1 lap is all he wants.
Yeah, I think that's what the majority of the field's going to do unless they get a major mistake or an incident on that lap, just due to the fact that this track here, it destroys the tires. It is all about keeping the tires as cool as possible when coming to start this lap. And man, once you get 1 lap done, the tires are already pretty much through. You've already dropped off about a full half a second to a second on that next lap. So if you're looking for your fast time, you're probably going to be trying to put it down on the first one at the moment. Last time we were here, Danny Cochran was our winner. He's right now sitting on that pole position once again.
He was the driver that had the pole last season as well. And for Danny Cochran, this race is going to be very different from last season. 35 laps was the distance for last season, able to just stretch out enough fuel for that run. Now add an extra 5 more laps, as going to be seen here. Jarrett Talmadge going to try to just drive his way across, and might be trying to get to pit road as fast as possible as the 17. But Zach, here tonight, an interesting moment for drivers, especially for some after Gateway. We saw a lot of penalties after Homestead going into Gateway that forced a lot of drivers to have to start at the tail end of the field. Same situation is going to be happening again, but from that Gateway here to Sonoma.
Yeah, a lot of drivers getting caught up there at Gateway, and a few of those penalties getting overturned and appealed, but definitely going to have a few of them as we're going to be having those for Tom Bourne. We're going to have the L1 penalty there for him. Noah Still's going to also have an L1 penalty in the 8 machine. Thomas Green's going to have a L1 penalty. Gregory Shaw, a L1 penalty. It looks like Cody Reed and also Aaron Kralick's going to have an L2 for not adhering to the L1 penalty from last week. So a couple L1s and an L2 there. So looking to keep these penalties up here early in the season, it seems like.
And you know how with all these penalties, again, when you get a penalty, you cannot qualify. You're gonna have to start at the tail end of the line. But like we saw at Gateway, there were still a handful of drivers that decided, I don't even want to qualify, even if I don't have a penalty. I think that could be a similar thing that we see here tonight as we're past halfway for qualifying. Qualifying is 10 minutes in time for these drivers to put down either 1 or 2 laps. As Danny Cochran has put down his 2 laps, there is the 53 of Eric Stamp, 17th on the board after his second lap that he's put down. But Zach, just under 4 minutes left here for qualifying as we hop on board with the 91 of that of Mark Morales Jr. A little bit of a drone cam, getting to see these schemes a little bit closer, but coming down through the S's, this 91's looking for some extra speed on this final distance for himself, but this is going to be his last and final lap coming around turn 11.
Yeah, currently 21st on the board with his first lap time of a 120.48. Looking to see what he can gain here on this second lap, if anything. And it's going to be tough to do it on that second lap to get anything else. And it's going to be a good bit slower there, a 121.195. So Morales is going to go a little bit slower, but still getting some laps out there. And that's why a few guys will take that second lap, even though it's slower, just to get continuous laps out there. That really helps build the confidence around this place. As looks like we're watching Thomas Green here right now, trying to put himself down a lap time. Is yet to put down a time in either practice or qualifying here.
Trying to get as much practice in as possible is going to be this driver, as everyone's trying to make sure that they are in a spot where they're going to feel the most comfortable. Road course racing, a pretty tough task for most of these drivers, but currently right now, top 7 drivers all within a second of one another, which you think about a second in distance for an oval race, that's pretty long. But Zach, when we're talking about road course racing, kind of the differentials on timing between one another, a lot different than oval racing like we traditionally see.
Oh, very, very different. You can make one mistake at a road course and give up a full second to somebody. So, whereas a oval, we make a few mistakes, it's a few tenths of a second that we give up. It's you're playing with less time to give up at an oval. Where here at a road course, if you make a mistake, just because you got a 3-4 second gap up front leading this thing, I'm telling you, this truck is a handful after 5 laps. You go out there and make a mistake, just slip up one little bit, have to lift that throttle and save this thing. That truck behind you, if they can put the power down and keep steaming forward, they're going to make up a good portion of time each and every time one of those mistakes happen. And that's just how road course racing is. You got to be on your P's and Q's every single lap, hitting your marks and making sure you keep it on track, most importantly, because this place here, getting off track will definitely end in a bad time here, as the sand will really affect you.
As we are in our final minute and 30 seconds here, I want to give some thanks to some of the amazing sponsors that we have here for the Incredible Sim Racing Championship. That's going to be our qualifying sponsor here tonight. That is the Laugh Lap, our qualifying sponsor. The Laugh Lap is a meme page that you can go find on Instagram. It's that for those that love racing as well as memes and laughing about the tracks all around us. Gotta love the laughter, and that's why you gotta go to Instagram and go to @the_laugh_lap to get yourself some of the best memes on Instagram for racing. Thank you for being our qualifying sponsor here this evening, as well as LP24 Clothing. LP24 Clothing is a store that offers great quality, affordable pricing, as well as hats, beanies, t-shirts, and many, many more, with such as color, sizes, to make sure that they give you the best quality. And go to LP24 Clothing on Instagram to get more information and get your order today. Well, we're in our final 25 seconds here, Zach. This race, 40 laps in distance, or there's a couple of different strategies that we've been thinking about up in the booth of potentially seeing. What are you feeling like could be a winning strategy for the drivers here tonight?
Yeah, there's a lot of strategies floating around there for sure that people could go out there and play out. The old tried and true has split it halfway down the middle. Flat lap 20 at that stage, come down, get your 4 set of tires, or your set of 4 tires there, and fill up what you need to make it to the end of that truck, just to make it a little bit lighter. But also some drivers, maybe they'll be looking to make an early pit stop, maybe no tires, maybe just a little splash of fuel. There's definitely going to be different things. We'll see if anybody tries to stretch it, but 40 laps, a lot farther than the 35 we had last time.
A lot of different ideas on how you feel like you can get yourself into victory lane. Some might go for the stage and get some major points there, while others might go for the victory at the end of the day. But it's time for us to look at the left lap qualifying results. Getting the pole award for his second Sonoma race in 2 seasons, it's going to be Danny Cochran in the 31. Isaac Shelley's going to be in second place with Zach Wilson in the 51 in third. Mark Whitley in fourth with Trent Jump surprisingly falling down to fifth. With Nick Crawford in sixth place, Cedric Hunter in seventh, Brandon Colley in eighth. That of Christian Gomez going to be in ninth, as well as Jared Talmadge finishing out your top 10.
Last week's winner at Gateway, Ethan Smith, starting in the 11th position alongside him. It's going to be the 38 of Christopher Norris. 13th is going to go to Ali Fonseca. 14th is going to go to the 11 of John Forbes. 15th is going to be Ryan Ferraro. 16th place is going to be the 21 of Kyle Rochelle, with 17th going to Daytona winner Eric Stamp. 18th is going to go to Logan Brakey. 19th is going to go to Dakota Moniz, and rounding out the top 20 is going to be Tyler Dingler in the 19.
21st is going to be that of Mark Morales Jr. 22nd, it's going to be Jonathan Smith. 23rd is going to be GT Irizarry with Alexander Light in 24th. 25th is going to be that of Gio Turpin, as well as Anthony Gaudio in 26th. That of Thomas Green. Going to be starting the drivers that did not put a time in. Going to be in 27th. Eric Krolix in 28th. Noah Steele in 29th. That of Joshua Freed. Going to be your top 30.
In the 31st position, it's going to be Robert Hattenback. 32nd is going to be the 86 of Nolan Hicks. 33rd is going to go to Gregory Shaw. 34th is going to be Cody Reed. 35th is going to go to Carl Pooler. And our last two cars on our trucks on the field are Kerry Trabu in 36 and Tanner Johnson in 37.
37 drivers potentially getting ready to roll here. But Zach, this is our 4th race of the season for the Wine Country Clash. And some drivers of note to watch out for. Drivers that need to start heading in the right direction. Danny Cochran, one of those drivers. Luckily, he's got the pole here tonight. But Zach, he has not been able to finish strong at a lot of these races. Last week, one of his best finishes so far after a great recovery run after being disconnected. But he's 33rd in points, needing a strong day. Same can be said for Kerry Tribune, 39th in points. Nolan Hicks, who's going to be in 41st in points. But Brandon Colley, Mark Whitley, 31st, 30th in points. For Mark Whitley, majority of the start of the season, he's been starting parking, but here tonight, he might need a good finish to start moving in the right direction.
Yeah, all of those group of drivers you just brought up, Sam, are all top contender drivers that should be fighting for really 10th through, I'd say, 15th, and anywhere in that range of positions. And right now, they're way down the list here early in the season, and they're going to have to turn it around here. And tonight's where they could start a lot of those guys who you just spoke of, starting up front, including Danny Cochran there, who, if he could go out and get the win, that would be a huge sigh of relief for him there. That would take a lot of pressure off of him heading into the next couple weeks.
And you look at the point standings coming into tonight. Ethan Smith, top of the board after getting his win last week at that of Gateway, and then having that of Eric Stamp, our Daytona winner, going to be in second. Then our Homestead winner in third in points. Then you got Trent Jump, Dakota Moniz, John Forbes, Tyler Dangler, Anthony Gaudio, and Christopher Norris is 9th in points, and Thomas Green in 10th. I mean, that is a group of drivers that are finding the consistency of championship quality. We know our drivers that need to start getting some good runs, and this could be a race to change it all as drivers get ready and set to go. Zach, final thoughts before we get ourselves to green flag racing.
That lap 20 stage is coming quickly. We'll see who can get some stage points to help themselves out here and who's going to keep the tires underneath them.
Drivers getting ready. The final bend, turn 12, as we are green for the Wine Country Clash here at Sonoma. And it's going to be the 31, Danny Cochran, not getting the best launch for himself. It's going to be Isaac Shelley on the outside, taking the lead for the 98. Up to turn number 2, everyone climbs, but watch out on those hard braking zones. Everyone's trying to stay on track and currently doing so. A great job, but here's 3A, 3B. Who's going to come solid up the corner, as this is when the truck gets one of the lightest points and a lot of drivers start to run into one another. Zach, so far looking good, but Cedric Hunter loose and holds on.
Yeah, luckily holds on to it for his sake there as he heads down into the chute down here, where it's very, very tough. Got to stay away from that wall. But right now, Shelley and Cochran trying to break away while the group behind them, everybody fights for any little bit of space. 37 trucks here at Sonoma.
37 trucks, and up front already starting to single file out, but it's this heart of the field where drivers are struggling to get themselves into some type of lane, as Nick Crawford seems to be having troubles at the top of the hill, losing a couple of positions, but it's gonna be that of Mark Whitley, third right now, and Zach probably the biggest threat to watch out for a championship later on, especially on the fact that he was looking so strong until he started doing some starter parks in those first 2 races of the season.
Yeah, those first couple races, I mean, look back at Homestead, he pulled away from the lead after leading the first, I believe, 20-some laps of that race. So really shows that he, hey, I'll be back, guys, and now it looks like he is full-time after running last week. And now here again at Sonoma, we'll hopefully be seeing him out there every single week, able to compete for a competition, and he will definitely be a threat, no doubt, like you said. But looking through this field, oh man, it's a long jam back here. It's going to be Aaron Kralik. Majority of these guys are the guys that had penalties back here that started in the rear field. Cody Reed, Thomas Green, a lot of these drivers trying to make up some ground.
Back going to be there at 27 with seeing the 0-1, the 15, all just trying to move forward in any type of fashion. It's going to be the 25 that was able to really cruise his way forward, but the 0-1 holds on after some contact. And Thomas Green, a driver that has shown he's willing to beat and batter and get drivers out of the way if needed, but driver spinning that turn number 7. It's Ollie Fonseca losing over 8 positions for that of the 24.
Oh, man, you got to feel for Fonseca there as it continues to be bad luck into this next season as it just continues to pile on for the 24 machine. Has some good runs going and always seems to get caught up in something here. At least it's early. It'll give him some time to maybe rebound back from it, but definitely not something he wants to do as those tires already, you can see these guys slipping and sliding.
99 off turn 7 as well, right on the exit of the corner, got contact with the 0-1 as drivers continue to get moving through this race. It's going to be quick, like you said, Zach. We're already on lap 3, and our leaders have changed up. Isaac Shelley, Mark Whitley going to be our top 2.
Oh, man, this is definitely interesting to see as Danny Cochran must have made some type of mistake or is, seems to be back. Actually, no mistake, just seems to be backing it down just a little bit. So maybe electing to maybe either save the tires or maybe even elect to save some fuel. We see him stretch the fuel last time. Will he be looking to do something similar here?
Already about 2 seconds off of what all the other drivers have been putting down so far as we're riding on board with 46 of Trenton Jump. And Trenton Jump, one of the drivers that really looked like a threat to win this race last season. It was that of Isaac Shelley, Trenton Jump, and Danny Cochran that were top 3 on top of one another. But because of the extra 5 laps and the talkings of all the different fuel strategies to come into this race and tire strategies, those top 3 are not right next to one another. It's Isaac Shelley that's going right off the gate saying, I want to lead this thing, get as big enough of a lead, and then he'll come into pit road pretty quick. Probably, I'm presuming with how fast he's running, gonna try probably be one of our first drivers to hit pit road. So all these other drivers that are lingering back, I'd imagine are trying a little bit of a stretch in your fuel type of an idea.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how Shelley's tires class too is with how fast he is going out here and putting laps down. But yeah, like you said, this top 3 kind of would be caught off guard with it if you told us this 4 laps into this race. Is look here, Jump starting to put a little pressure on Cochran here in the 2 machine or the 31 machine, sorry, as they come up out of the top of the hill there down into the chute. Is man, you even got Brandon Colley there, Jared Talmadge, and even it looks like Gomez there, Christian Gomez.
Christian Gomez trying to make his run, a driver that's been running at other series, and this 27 has been known to be pretty solid at road courses. As we look at our Homestead winner, the 13 of Cedric Hunter, Cedric comes in as one of the drivers that's really just looking for a solid night, I would presume, here, Zach, at Sonoma. Yes, he would love to say he could go for a win, but Sonoma's probably not one of his favorite road courses to be going to.
Yeah, Cedric is definitely interesting when it comes to road courses. It seems like he doesn't possess always the qualifying speed. That's one thing he lacks a little bit when it comes to these tracks. But he does usually tend to have pretty decent race pace when it comes to where he qualifies here. Looking a little bit of pressure. Oh, man, he's going to kick to the back. But we're going to see firsthand and spins him around. And, unfortunate for Gomez there. Hunter's going to spin him around. And luckily, Gomez not going to lose out too much there. As both of them going to really lose a bunch of spots there to Ethan Smith. And it looks like Forbes.
And Forbes and Smith are going to say thank you, come again. Got to move forward as 00 after last week's dominating run Honestly, gotta be loving the fact that he's given every single position possible, but a driver that's looking for redemption here tonight, Christopher Norris. I mean, Zach, we think back to last season. I mean, last time we were here at Sonoma, Christopher Norris was 2 corners away from getting a top 5 here at Sonoma before being absolutely shoved and moved out of the way by Thomas Green. It's 38, so hoping for a little bit more luck here tonight.
Yeah, going back to a place that he had a good run last season, and what a tough track. You know, that just shows you his progression. We always talk about it, how much better he gets each and every weekend. Look at him, he's going through these as his kicking the rear end out and sliding this truck there right on the limit of the grip level, and really proving that, you know, he's continuing to get better and better. And one day he'll be challenging not only for, you know, right here in the fringe of top 10s and top 5s, he might be challenging for top 5s and wins as guys go off there in the fast left or right-hander there and really putting a lot of dirt on the track.
That turn 10, right where the boards are, it's such a fast corner. I mean, it's so deceptive on how fast you'd like to take that corner. And you don't want to go into the dirt, but obviously the drivers carrying a little bit too much speed with John Forbes as well as others behind as they march their way up through turns 2 and climbing up this track. The verticality, one of the factors that makes Sonoma so interesting to watch, how much you are going up and down as well as trying to turn. And the apex of these corners, it's such a tricky track. I know Sonoma never was one of my favorites to run, even though it's my home track.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, I love this place. It's got so much character. It's one of the most unique tracks out there when it comes to road course wise. I mean, like you said, you were talking about the you know, the elevation changes. It's up and down right there through the first sector, and then even down through the S's. You just get the downhill, you know, feeling of going down through these slalom S's, and it just has such a great feeling. And also, it's so much character in the way that tires fall off. The tires just get destroyed when you run around this place here in the hot desert or in the hot sun, and it just really equates to a lot of fall off and a lot of kind of almost short track racing on a road course, I'd say.
Yeah, all the drivers, you know, heartbreaking zones focusing on their touches, as going to be Thomas Green finally able to get by that of Turpin. And Gio Turpin, it was such a struggle for Thomas Green to get by. He got front end damage, rear end damage, and now through turns 10, more drivers struggling to get by that 48 machine, who is more so defending, fighting, but man, is it difficult for this gaggle of cars that are all just battling to get inside of the top 30.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that traction zone heading out of turn 11 there, the hairpin, is so tough. It is just about impossible to put the power down constantly there. And man, we're seeing a lot of guys starting to struggle there. And Gio Turpin trying to hold on to what he's got here, and everybody, even all the way back here in this, you know, this 29th to 30th position, all these guys battling just like it would be for the lead.
As here comes Turpin trying to hold off, going up to the top of 3B, down into turn number 4. It's going to be having that of Nolan Hicks. And Nolan Hicks, a driver that has found some great qualifying speed, but because of the penalty from last week, going into this week, wasn't able to qualify, and now right into the danger zone where this 86 has found himself being damaged as Turpin slides, hold on, and almost just wiped out that of Kerry Tribune, and also that of Hicks. Similar strategies and moments as contact between the 19 and the 48. Gonna be that of Tyler Dangler, the driver who started on pit road, now gonna be up to 32nd position. A great charge by the 19 machine.
Yeah, great job by Tyler there. Got lucky too that contact wasn't more between him and Gio, because it could have shot him off into the dirt there, and that would have been a long ride for him there. But luckily kept it straight and made it through the S's. But up ahead of him, Noah Steele trying to make something happen on Hicks. Is behind him. Turpin goes around again there in turn 11, as that's being the culprit here. These tires starting to go away here only on lap 8 of 40.
There's going to be Tanner Johnson also trying to get through these corners. Who's been trying to move up the best that this 23 can, and started all the way back in last place. Not the most comfortable driver when it comes to road course racing, but trying to have as comfortable as run as you can for a driver that's probably just thinking, hopefully other drivers will wreck out of this thing and I can just steal any positions possible by the end of the day. As we move up to one of the closest battles up in our top 10, it's the battle for 8th. Nick Crawford also going to be for that of Jared Talmadge, heading down into turn number 11 for 7th.
Yeah, Nick Crawford trying to rebound. They had a little contact between him and Trenton jumped there heading down to the S's early in this race. That jumped him a little bit back here, and now trying to make that comeback. As you can see, the damage on the left front from that contact earlier in the race is
issues. Going to be further back for that of 13th place. It's going to be that of the 27 of Gomez, as well as that of Cedric Hunter, and going to be Ethan Smith, all spinning and scattering on the exit of turn 11.
Oh man, I think Cedric Hunter got into Ethan Smith. After that, he spins. Then Gomez might have got a little bit into it from there too. But man, oh man, it's gone from bad to worse for Cedric Hunter. As after that Homestead win, his season has not had the greatest turn since that point.
As we get to see the 29, this is going to be Logan Brakey's screen of trying to rally for anything at the moment, as he's going to have that of the 13 in front of him. And if anything, for Logan Brakey, you're loving the fact that you got Cedric Hunter in front of you, especially on the fact that he's already moved 2 drivers out of the way. He might gift you a position or more, but at the same time, that this also means being right behind the 13, you're in the splash zone just in case someone spins.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I mean, it's nice to be behind Cedric Hunter, but yeah, if you got to make the pass on him to get in front of him, then you're putting yourself in possibly a little bit of danger, because he's having a little bit of tough time there judging it seems, down at turn 11 and just rolling up into the back bumper of guys. And it's easy to do sometimes, especially driving different types of vehicles here on iRacing. You can get different lengths of noses, and you just expect sometimes you're not going to hit that person, and you just get into them right as they're putting the power down, and that is the worst recipe for disaster. As these guys are already having a tough enough time getting off the corners without any contact. You add that contact into it, and it's just about impossible. And also throwing the factor, this is one thing we haven't really brought up too much tonight, but I got to do the practice race with these guys earlier this week, and man, I'll tell you, the dirty air here in this truck is really horrendous. Actually, it is one of the tougher things. That's why I think you're seeing a lot of guys that have fell back, that have had farther up qualifying spots. They haven't made up ground. They've kind of got stuck where they're at, and have kind of evened out with about a second gap between them and the trucks up ahead. Because, man, I can tell you, this dirty air is very tough to deal with, and also tears the tires in.
Well, a driver that's struggling at the moment and really just trying to hold on the best that it can, it's got to be the battle for third. You got Zach Wilson, you got Danny Cochran, Trenton Jump, and Brandon Colley all inside of this group. That is third back to sixth, and they just can't get away from one another. And it's Zach Wilson that's got to be careful, because those rear tires, each lap, he's starting to show signs that the heat is building on that 51.
Yeah, we are really starting to see those signs, like you said, Sam. I mean, I saw it out of turn 10 there, really that high-speed right-hander there, and he was just really all the way to the left side, crank 2 all the way to the right there. And it's the left rear tire that goes away here. You have a lot of right-hand corners here that put a lot of pressure right on that left rear left rear tire that really burns it up. So you see everybody here really struggling out of these right-handers here, trying to put power down.
And as you see here, Zach Wilson going to have Danny Cochran jump, and whew, that rumble strip coming out of turn 4. So dangerous. I think my favorite shot. Oh, Danny Cochran sending it into turn 7. Corner in. The 31's trying his best, but you got to say the rumble strips here, Zach, they're your friends at some moments, but obviously you can attest to it more than anyone else. It also can be your enemy at most times.
It definitely can be. Look at this battle. This is going to be close here, down into 10. And they're going to be side by side. Cochran around the outside. That is not a common spot that has around the outside of turn 10. And look at Zach Wilson. He's had enough. He says he's coming down here on lap 11. This is interesting, too, pitting this early. This will be interesting to see if he sets up himself for the end of the race here. Or does he look to do a 2-stop here tonight?
Well, he was just showing a little bit of signs of wear and tear. It's not like we've seen some of the other drivers that have been just struggling for 3 or 4 laps. I think for Zach Wilson, it's I'm going to come into pit road, hope that I get put back in some clean air behind me, and then I can put some fast laps down to potentially do an undercut to gain time, as drivers right now already about 1 second to 2 seconds off their best times right now. So Zach Wilson can do an undercut at this moment and is good on fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, and I've even been watching just our leaders, not only them, but Mark Whitley, too, here in second. These guys are struggling, too. I've seen a lot of lockups, a lot of sliding late into the apex, and very close moments. And even our leader actually just had a close moment. He had the 23 up ahead of him of Tanner Johnson, Brent coming out of the S's, and just barely escapes by is Isaac Shelley there in that 98.
Isaac Shelley, he has been on go mode. It has been constant speed, no give up. And you got to give credit to the 98, a driver that came away last season, second place, came into pit road, thought that was the winning strategy, and found out that you could stay out and make it by saving fuel. And it was Danny Cochran that went with the only driver to save fuel to make it to the end of the race and won by over 17 seconds. But that doesn't really show how that race truly was going for those first 15 laps, 15 to 20 laps, because Isaac Shelley was beating on that door to try to win before he had to come into pit road and went with the wrong strategy at the end of the day. But we're now starting to see a couple of other drivers tackle into pit road as the 98's drifting it through this corner, through these corners. I think he's showing signs of it might be time to hit pit road.
Yeah, pit road is getting busy. Nick Crawford likes to come down in the 4 machine as he's going to hit pit road from up there in that 9th position. And man, I tell you, the tires are really starting to step away. But Isaac Shelley doing the best job of everybody in this group here up front, still running the quickest times of anybody on this racetrack. The only driver in the 121 second bracket. Everybody else dropping down at least into the 122s.
And as we're seeing, GT Rizari in this group going to be in 15th place. And right behind him is a long train of drivers that are all in line. And at the tail end of this group, it's going to be Zach Wilson in 24th place. Fresh tires. He's trying to carve his way through, but he did not find that clean space to maximize these tires. This 51 in heavy danger as one of our biggest movers so far of the race. That's going to be that 25 machine of Cody Reed in 18th position, up 16 positions, Zach.
Yeah, Cody Reed's really been doing a great job from starting at the rear of the field, marching his way through and staying on track and keeping it going forward. But yeah, you know, you brought up Zach Wilson. I think that's a very valid point. Did not come out in a very good spot at all on the racetrack. Right now, completely stuck in traffic. And I can tell you, again, that dirty air, it is so detrimental to you that you want to get out there and clean track and run by yourself. Right now, he's in the worst possible scenarios. It's stacked up traffic here all around these drivers who have already hit pit road.
Beautiful flat pass that we got to see there of Reed over Jonathan Smith. As we fall back behind him, that's where we find that Ryan Ferraro, Alexander Light, side by side, climbing up the hill, and it's going to be Light taking the advantage, but Zach Wilson, fresh tires, just having to sit behind. And in one aspect, yes, this is bad. You're not maximizing your tires. You're running the same, if not slower pace than our leaders, so you're losing time, even though you came into pit road and took fresher rubber. But at least you're kind of saving your tires in a way, being in this group right now.
Yeah, you somewhat are, you know, going a little bit slower here, being held up by this traffic, but at the same time, you know, you try to make a little bit more happen there as he goes up the inside into 5 and makes that pass there. Is finally for Zach Wilson going to go ahead and get a little bit of a track, but he's not going to have too much time as now it's going to be Nick Crawford trying to make it happen on Anthony Gaudio.
Gaudio's going to have to stay through side by side down the S's over the rumble strip. And here comes that of Thomas Green. Now it's going to give a bump and a slide to the 3. Holds on. Scary moment there for Anthony Gaudio, who now is going to see losing even more positions potentially here as Kerry Tribune is going to be carrying forward as drivers marching everywhere. But pit road stops going to be that for Mark Morales Jr. as well as Ryan Ferraro into pit road, as well as front runners going to be that of Mark Whitley exiting pit road for himself. And for the 77, he's hoping and will be in front of Zach Wilson. That is exactly what the 77 wanted, and he's going to have much cleaner air to work with compared to what the 51 does.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see, man. This is a very cool scenario. This is why when you got high tire degradation like this, that really makes these guys have to get the pit road early here and consider doing this. It really makes an interesting race like this because it's all about where you come out in traffic. It really gives me the vibes of a Formula One race, really picking when you come down pit road to make sure you have that open traffic and open timing there to go forward, because it's just so tough. We see Zach Wilson, the problems that he had, and Mark Whitley, luckily for him, just timed it perfectly.
Job on board and get to right along with Zach Wilson, a driver that's really trying to focus, and that has been the big thing for the 51. Every time we watch him each week, he's staying focused, geared in, and I think at this moment he's just happy he's finally away from other drivers and He's got a little bit more clean space to try to utilize this fresh rubber, but has already lost kind of the war on the fact that the 77's ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely lost any advantage he had there trying to do the undercut there and get up ahead of that 77 from that third spot after, giving it up to Danny Cochran there. So definitely going to have to be trying to make something the most of this now as he's pit the earliest of anybody. We'll see if, like I said, we'll see if he decides, does he try to do a two-stop, come back down again later in this race. I don't think that's going to be the smartest strategy to do, but some guys are going to have a tough time on tires, and if you're having that tough time, you feel much more secure, maybe the two-stop will be quicker.
And as drivers continue to race all over the place, Zach, we're closing in. Now going to be 5 laps away from our stage break, where we will not have a full course yellow being thrown, but our top 10 drivers at the end of lap number 20. Those top 10 drivers will get bonus points, with the winner getting 10 bonus points, and then dropping down is Christopher Norris, as well as that of John Forbes trying to get by lap traffic of that of TJ, and that of Tanner Johnson. An aggressive move by the 11 of John Forbes, diving it down low, a little bit of contact, getting back into the throttle for 6th place, and the 11 having the nose, but for the 38, he's got the positioning for turn 12, still side by side coming across the line. And Christopher Norris, will he back out or will he stay? They stay still side by side, but Forbes the advantage up the hill for now.
Oh, and Forbes missing the corner here. Norris going to cross him back over. Great racing from these two. Everybody taking an opportunity here, but I think Forbes is going to have the power there to take the spot and get ahead of Christopher Norris. But what a great drive and great racing these two have been doing right here.
The duels continue to rage on, and don't look too far back because the 27 of Christian Gomez is still on the charge, as he's been running about a little bit faster than the drivers ahead of him. And by them, contact's going to be made as drivers are running into one another. As it's going to be that of Kyle Rochelle, Eric Stamp, as well as lap traffic, all just clustering on top of one another. And the driver that's in the middle of all this chaos is going to be that of the 99 of Robert Hattenbach, who's really kind of being a clogging, kind of a big block in front of drivers that everyone's trying to get on by, but it's causing a gaggle of drivers down through the S's, and the snaking action to get by the 99 finally clear.
Yeah, and look at who's right behind all that. It was Mark Whitley in the 77 as the 13th second. Hunter pulls up, but Mark Whitley stuck behind this group. Once he's caught up, he'll go by Moniz also there, but man, just showing you this early pit stops here for these guys who are farther up in the front of the lead, kind of losing out here with not clear track, with these other drivers out in the back stretching it farther. So right now it could be a loss for the drivers who have tried to undercut.
And talking about undercuts, talk about a delta. The delta is the range of time that can be lost by coming into pit road. Isaac Shelley, he's got to make sure that he keeps himself between 35 to 38 seconds between Mark Whitley, because if that gap gets any closer for Mark Whitley closing on time, that means that Isaac Shelley potentially could be losing the lead, even though he's got a massive one right now over Danny Cochran.
Yeah, Isaac Shelley's got a massive lead and just making some pretty massive mistakes also here racing with Jonathan Smith in the 72, a lapper here, and this is not helping him one bit at all, but luckily going to clear him here down into 1 and try to solidify this. But what I'm seeing is a lot of rear end sliding out there from the 98. He needs to probably hit pit road here at least in the next couple laps here if he wants to be able to minimize the damage that, not trying to make too many mistakes, because that last lap there, a 1:23.158, they're about a second slower than Danny Cochran.
We'll come back to this because we got to go back to Mark Whitley. In front of him, he's got another gaggle of cars. The 77's trying to get on by, and it is a cluster and potentially a wreck. Kyle Rochelle holds on, but in front of him, it's going to be Christopher Norris as well as Tanner Johnson. I mean, that of Christian Gomez is going to be side by side in front of the 77. This is all for positioning. It's going to be the 27 taking that position for now, but Christopher Norris fighting right on back over the rumble strips, but it's going to be the 27 with a better grip. But here comes Mark Whitley right through turn 3.
Oh yeah, Norris covers it off too. It looked like Whitley wanted to just shove it up the inside there, but couldn't make it happen here. He's going to try to do it down into turn 4, but again, not able to do it. This again, not what you want to see if you're Mark Whitley. You haven't done this undercut. This is just underutilizing the tires, and right now stuck behind this 38 machine, who's gonna possibly loop it there, losing the rear end. He saves it there, but Whitley loses the rear end. Also, they're side by side heading downhill to the S's.
It was Mark Whitley who looked worse off coming out of the corner, but somehow had the better speed. And now here comes out of Eric Stamp, Kyle Rochelle. They're going to be pressuring that 38 team as these drivers from that of the 38 back to the 5, Dakota Moniz. That's going to be 9th back to 13th, all still needing to come to pit road and all within a blanket of one another.
This is definitely setting up to be a barn burner here with all these different strategies and drivers setting up here for this final lap of this stage. Remember, like Sam said earlier, folks, no caution here tonight at the stage here at the road courses. So we'll be staying green here, and interested to see if we have pit road very busy at that point, or our guys going to stretch it a little farther to have a little bit fresher tires in.
This is quote unquote the white flag of the stage for these drivers as Isaac Shelley is coming down the S's, about to hit turn 10, but all the way back in 10th place, that's where we find Christopher Norris. And Norris, he's got to make sure he can defend over Ethan Smith and the 00, because it's all about when, I believe, 10th place crosses the line. That's when it's going to count for these drivers. And Norris is almost looping it at turn 4.
Oh man, Norris is having an eventful time right here on these older tires. If I was him, I'd be trying to get in with the contact from the 00 body slam there, as we'll get the driver cam at the bottom there, as Norris is going to throw in the gear and down here into the S's, is luckily going to hold on to that machine.
Isaac Shelley coming across the line. He's going to be done. And with this lap, we are technically in our final 20 laps to go. And this is our stage break, still waiting for this battle as we keep our eyes on 10th place. This is for the final bonus point, which for Ethan Smith could be massive. He came in tonight as our points leader, knowing that he was going to need every bonus point possible to keep the points lead out of this race, and he gets the better launch through turn 12. The 00 comes out of turn 12, and he'll steal it right at the line.
Oh, just at the line. Ethan Smith going to take that point, and he'll gladly take that there as Norris just trying his best to hold on there, just couldn't put the power down. And right now, losing out is that 00 tries to drive away.
And again, it's a blanket behind as we're seeing the 53. That's going to be Eric Stamp, and Stamp in 9th place currently, but trying to go after his teammate of Gomez right in front of him. And then in front of these drivers, Mark Whitley has climbed up to 6th place and now 33 seconds ahead of Isaac Shelley. Shelley is now into pit road. This is when it counts. Will Shelley still be the leader coming out of pit road, or will it be Mark Whitley?
Yeah, this is the money stop here. You got to make everything last here. You can't make no mistakes, no penalties. Got to get off the pit road nice and clean here. He had a huge gap. If I'm Isaac Shelley, I just got to make this nice and clean here. And we'll see how it works out for him.
Oh, he's looking good.
Whitley coming through this hairpin here. Yeah, he's just leaving his box now. He's going to have a giant gap still to Whitley after that pit stop.
Coming across the line, coming through the uphill aspect is Isaac Shelley as Mark Whitley finally hits turn 1 into turn 2. The gap is going to be 6 seconds is the difference, but it's 7 lap difference on tires. Shelley has the advantage, but let's see how aggressive he wants to be, because he's now past halfway. He can do the same exact strategy and should be all right to win. But here comes the fun factor. You got the 31, and Zach, he's been clamoring about this. Might be trying a real gutsy strategy here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. He was talking, watch his strategy coming into tonight here. He was telling us that, and we'll see. I mean, he stretched the fuel to get to 35 last time. I did the practice race myself this week, got some fuel numbers from, it is different to each driver. It is different how you can drive it, and a road course is a place you can save a lot of fuel. But I was finding 35 laps on a full tank of 18.7 gallons here in this truck, and I just do not see an extra 5 laps here being made. I mean, that's 10 full miles. You're looking at about around 3.2 gallons of fuel. That is a lot of fuel to be saved. If Danny Cochran does that, he will deservedly make it to the end, and we'll see where it ends up, because Shelley, I mean, he's flying. He's going to be pretty close behind, only 13 seconds back already, so it's going to be tough for him to hold those new tires off with this strategy.
Zach, I completely forgot about this. Just because of other road course series, whenever other series go to road courses, they usually turn off the instant limits. That is not the case here tonight. There is an instant limit. It's 20, and we already have 2 disqualifications. Gio Turpin as well as Thomas Green are out of this race. Alexander Light going to be in pit road with required damage. DQs could be another factor to watch out for a lot of these drivers that have been banging a lot.
It very well could be, man. I'd say this track, not very known for too many off tracks, but there is places you can get it, especially down there in that fast turn 10 corner. You can dip the tire off there on that exit and get a off-track penalty there, and also right there on the curbing on the entry to turn 10 there. So definitely a spot that we'll be watching for those off tracks. But yeah, if you're getting 4Xs out there, that's going to definitely pile up quickly. And like you said, already 2 disqualifications. That's unfortunate to see.
As the drivers continue to race on, it is now the duel of save your fuel or did you make the right pit stop at the right time? Last season, it was that of Isaac Shelley that pitted too late, didn't have enough time to run down Danny Cochran, and Danny Cochran won. But this go around, it could be something a little bit different, as Danny Cochran gonna have that 8.2 seconds over the 98. That is putting down his fastest lap last lap. Zach, a 1 minute and 18.434. That is a full second faster than the other driver's fastest laps so far this race.
Yeah, he's putting on a show right now. This would be the time to do the fastest lap of the race too. The most rubber on the track. This is when the track should be at its most grippy, and possibly even, he might even underfuel this truck a little bit, knowing that they can make 35 laps. He wouldn't need to put more than probably 4 gallons in this truck to make it those final 5 laps to feel secure. Right here, probably a little underfueled, new tires. That truck's flying right now, trying to run down that 31 of Cochran. It was a 9-second gap last time by. It looks like it's already going to be down into the 7-second region.
3 more drivers still need to hit pit road. As you see, that of Hicks gets out of the way, but we are going to step aside. Coming to 16 laps to go. These drivers, they're putting on a show. Danny Cochran, Isaac Shelley, your front 2, as it is coming down to this. Gonna be just that of 16 laps to go for the ISRC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. The Wine Country Clash here at Sonoma. Will it be Danny Cochran, Isaac Shelley? Let's find out. You won't miss a thing, side by side. And just like that, the pass is made for the lead. It's going to be that of Isaac Shelley, finding himself just flying on by the driver of 31, Danny Cochran. Just no grip, no speed. It is all gone. And now for that of Danny Cochran, he's got to hope that he can continue to pull away. Thank you for joining us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall, Roman Warrior in the production booth, giving us all the camera shots and the amazing action on screen as you're watching the incredible Sim Racing Championship, the Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, here for the Wine Country Clash at Sonoma Raceway. As this is race number 4 of season 3, Isaac Shelley trying to become the 4th driver in 4 races to get a win and find himself locked into the playoffs potentially. But Zach, interesting calls are being thrown out. Mark Whitley back into pit road for the 77.
Yeah, Sam, you took that straight off the top of my head there, man. I was just about to say he was hitting pit road there, and man, I can't figure that reason out other than the tires just being gone, and come down and try to see what he can do from there. Right now, coming out around, I believe, Christian Gomez in that 12th spot, so we'll see where he can rebound from this, but man, it's still going to be a while's wait up for him.
As we are watching on screen, the battle for 8th place, it's Ollie Fonseca in the 24 and the 13 of Cedric Hunter. And Zach, we were kind of talking over the commercial break. Cedric Hunter, you can see the damage from the 13 on the side panel, but I'm surprised there's not as much damage on the front bumper with the amount that we've seen that being used.
Yeah, going to dive it up the inside of Ollie Fonseca here and try to make that stick. He does make that work, and he'll take 9th. And yeah, it's been a tough night for our Homestead winner here in this 13 truck, man. He's ran over a few guys, he's gotten doored a few times, and he'll be looking to move on after this road course race. I'm sure is right now up to 8th. That's got to feel good though, at least for somewhat of a rebound there. Is almost missed turn 2 there.
Ollie Fonseca, I do want to let you know on the 24, still has not pitted on the same strategy as the 2nd place runner Danny Cochran. Drivers trying to stretch this race out. Still 12 laps to go. But Zach, the window we were kind of given was anywhere from 34, to 37. That was kind of the window a lot of drivers were aiming on how long they could go. But it was more so of that middle to late aspect, just to have the fresher tires at the end of the day that drivers were searching for. But I mean, Fonseca up 4 positions. Danny Cochran was trying to go for a winning move. Didn't work out as planned, but he certainly tried his best.
Yeah, he tried something different here, and now it's going to be interesting to see if he can even make it to the end or if he'll have to actually end up hitting pit road. So we'll see what Danny Cochran elects to do. But, oh, man, Nick Crawford here, major nose damage on the front of that machine. Unsure where he's got that from, but right now in that 5th spot.
I think we might have an imposter. I'm pretty sure Peter Parker would have had his spidey senses kick in and would have told him not to get any damage. I think for sure that's Nick Crawford racing, but he certainly is having fun out there. 5th place currently for the 4 machine. But Zach, I mean, always having fun out there is Nick Crawford, trying to have a decent run for himself here this evening as he's looking to try to find himself with some good points as he's trying to make his surge to make it into our top that of 16 in points as he's tied there with Aaron Crawley.
Yeah, trying to do his best to make up as much ground as possible there. And, you know, just that unfortunate finish last week with the contact with Cody Reed there at Gateway is, you know, just unfortunate for that all to go down. And, man, would have been in a much better position in points if that would have not happened. But now doing a good job here at Sonoma trying to get back up here into the top 5. So that's a great rebound from that number 4 machine. And I tell you what, a few mistakes from a few guys, you never know, could possibly even be a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, for this 4 machine, still trying to search for his first top 10 finish of the season. It could be a top 5 with the way that he's running, as still waiting to see if the 31 of Danny Cochran is going to come into pit road or if he'll continue to stay out, as drivers are searching for all the positions that they can grab for themselves. But some drivers throughout the field that are trying to keep it close with one another. The closest right now on track would be the battling that's for 17th place. That's going to be Kyle Rochelle and Ethan Smith that are right on top of one another.
Yeah, those two have been going at it here, man. And I tell you what, right here down into 11, Smith having a little bit of a braking issue still there for that 00s. That's been a nagging issue there for him, but he's going to make the pass there on Kyle Rochelle down in the 11, but going to come back here to turn 1 and see if he can hold on to that as Rochelle trying to challenge him. But we'll check out Martin Morales here in this 91 machine here in the 22nd position, second car lap down.
Second car lap down, but, you know, still having a decent run for himself. Only down one position from qualifying, and for some drivers, it's just to stay on track. You see Morales just staying high, and I think he was trying to see if we can give a little bit more space to second place runner Danny Cochran, who obviously was not going at the speed and closing rate that anyone was expecting.
Yeah, I think Danny Cochran's still trying to make the most out of those tires. It's impressive to see what Danny's doing with those, though. Right now, running, you know, that was a 23 there, but most of his laps have been in the 22-second bracket, so been very, very consistent for majority of the night. But we'll see again. That fuel is going to be the number one thing I question for him. That's, again, 5 laps he's got to have to stretch this fuel. That is a long, long way. And if he does it, it'll be a feat that we'll have to ask him how he did it for sure.
Well, when I was talking to Danny earlier, he was saying on the fact that he felt like he could for sure stretch it out to 37 laps. And any further than that, he was asking for a little bit of a miracle to happen. He's going to try it anyway. So around that 4 laps to go marker to 3 laps to go is when we're going to keep our eyes on second place runner as we drop back to that of the 71. This is where Carl Puller, 33rd place. He's last of those that are running, but going to be up 2 positions, decided not to qualify for the 71. And really, it's just skip any type of practice time down. I mean, he's just put down close to almost his fastest lap of the day with a 1 minute and 23.0 second time. And for the 71, he's getting a little bit more consistent, a little bit more speed each lap. And this is more experience that you can try to carry over into future seasons that come around.
Yeah, I tell you, road racing is a tough discipline to get a hold of. It's something either you just straight away take to it like you kind of just are ready for it, and some guys aren't. It just doesn't come to them. It just doesn't seem to work out. And Carl seems to be a guy that does struggle on these road courses, but I tell you, he's definitely shown right here just from looking at his lap times, like you brought up, saying he's gotten more consistent. It's been more in the same range of running lap times, and that's the one thing I tell guys. Number one thing when you go to a road course, it's all about consistency. If you can get consistency, you'll be able to race just fine.
A little bit more comfortable for yourself. A driver that's on the move, looking at the top 10. Biggest mover so far of our drivers that are inside the top 10. Going to be just a pass made for 5th place. That's going to be Jared Talmadge in the 17, just getting by Nick Crawford, now cracking into the top 5.
Yeah, I tell you, Jared has had a great little run here tonight for that 17 machine. So good job on him there. He's took advantage of a few guys making a few different strategies. Most importantly, Mark Whitley there taking that 2-stop strategy that just really caught me off guard there with that. So looks like Talmadge, he's going to take advantage of that, get to the top 5 here. It's a long way up the road there for him up to Brandon Colley, and they're running pretty similar lap times, so don't probably see that playing out. But we'll have to see how it works out here in the closing 7 laps. That's a long way still to go here in Sonoma.
And then talking about our biggest mover of the day, that was the 25 that you saw on screen just a brief moment ago. Cody Reed started all the way back in 34th position after getting the penalty, wasn't able to qualify in the 25, now up to 13th place. What a charge, and currently still on the lead lap, and within 3 seconds of that of Christian Gomez. And Cody Reed, he is running just as fast as the drivers instead of our top, that of 5. Pace rolling, could potentially get a top 10 finish for Cody Reed.
Yeah, no, he's not far behind Ali Fonseca. Even Cedric Hunter up there is not too far ahead, as that could possibly be all the way up to 9th position for the chances here for Cody Reed. So if he could get a top 10 after starting 34th here at Sonoma, that would be a great day for this 25, especially after that finish at Gateway.
And now we move up to 4th place. Brandon Colley, a driver we really haven't talked about a lot here this evening, which I feel like, Zach, when we don't talk about Colley, it's usually because he's having a pretty good day.
Yeah, usually if you bring up Brandon's name, it's usually something has went wrong or something is either gone bad for him. So luckily tonight, it's all stayed straight on the road. It seemed to be a pretty smooth and straight race. He's been pretty even on pace with him and Trenton Jump. Just hasn't been able to make anything happen there with the inroads. Is did a little bit different on pit road strategy, but pretty much running similar times with those with that 3rd place driver up there in the 46th and that defending champion. So good showing here for Brandon Colley, who I know coming in tonight was not looking forward too much to this racetrack.
And we look back, move up to third place where we find last season's champion, that of Trent Jump, who's trying to find some more consistency for himself, comes in third, tied with Cedric Hunter in points. And Ethan Smith, I was talking to him about, there are potential chances of seeing that 00 lose his points lead. If he's going to lose it, it could be to this 46, who we knew coming into Sonoma was going to be a threat for at least a podium finish. He's in fourth right now, but all of his hopes for a good podium top 3 finish lies on Danny Cochran on if he can make it on fuel to the end.
Yeah, it really does. And the more closer we get here, the more I'm thinking Danny Cochran needs to just come to pit road and just make a decision here soon. Because I mean, like you said, Sam, you talked to him. He said 37 laps. Said he'll hope for a miracle. I mean, 37 laps is 3 laps short. That is 6 miles here at Sonoma. That is a gigantic, distance that you need to hope for a miracle for. I don't see that most likely happening. And if he waits till the very last moment to come down here and just get a splash, he's still not going to finish in this top 3. I mean, just coming down pit road that time, he's going to drop almost back to around 7th to 8th position.
And we got to move back up to third place runner Trent Jump, because he is trapped with lap traffic. Aaron Kralik, as well as going to be seen, that of the 01 and the 19 almost finding themselves wrecked out and having issues as they're coming through. And speaking of issues, a driver that was looking for a good run, he was in 7th place, Zach Wilson, had to come into pit road for emergency stop. And it could have been because of black flags with too many incident points for the 51.
Yeah, because it not only do you get DQ'd at 20, but every 16 you get a that come down the pit road and serve a penalty. So that is definitely I think what's played out for Wilson.
Then he came into pit road, downshifted too many times too quick, and blew his engine. So his day is done. Zach Wilson, who was looking for a top 10 finish, now going to be potentially finishing all the way back in 33rd spot. Tough night for himself, as all eyes on Danny Cochran now. Zach, we're getting close. We're a lap away from the miracle, the final 3 laps for the 31.
Yeah, we'll see. He's made it past where I thought he personally could. I mean, it showed around 35 and a half laps. So, we just completed our 36. This next time by will be this 37th. That'll be a lap and a half past where I think you could have made it, and this is impressive to see how far he's got this way. But I just don't see it being done. If he does it, I will be so mind blown. But he knows better than us right now. He must feel confident as he's not hit pit road yet.
These drivers continue to race. I mean, Zach, when you were doing your practice racing, were you averaging around 1 minute and 22 second to 23 second lap times, or you? I know you can be a speed demon when it comes to this racetrack. How much were you trying to save when you were putting down those times?
Well, surprisingly, I was struggling a lot. Like this track a lot in the truck, very, very different when it comes to driving. Now, driving styles will change that, like you said, and I do think there could be variance there. There could be, but just 5 laps of difference is just a lot of variance for me, and we'll see. I mean, that's 37 right there, man. So 6 more miles. If he can get 6 more miles out of this tank, that'll be a feat that I don't think anybody in this field thought was even possible. I mean, if you go back to last race, we had 35 laps. Only 2 drivers did it. It was Jared Talmadge and Danny Cochran. Those were the only 2 drivers that go the whole distance. So not many people thought about it. And now tonight, I don't think anybody even thought it was even theoretically even in the realm.
Oh, and now we're starting to see more drivers jumping out of this race. Aaron Kralich's going to be the next driver that is done after a spin while he was challenging with some of the drivers around that 23rd, 24th position. And now going to be another driver sent to the end, as here's our leader, Isaac Shelley. He's not in a full comfortable position himself because he's got that lap traffic in front of him, but he's got 2 separate battles for positioning that he's got to try to get around.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see in the last 3 laps of your race, coming to 2 to go right here for Isaac Shelley. He sees so much traffic, and he's just saying, I got plenty of time behind him. He's got 17 seconds back to Cochran, 31 back to the jump. He's got plenty of time to give up, but he just wants no mistakes from me by any of these guys that would give him a required damage flag.
Big thing is for this 97, it's 2 laps to go, but if you can get by that of basically there's 3 drivers he needs to get by, GT Irizarry, Carl Pooler, as well as that of Ethan Smith. If he can get by those 3 drivers, it's clean sailing. There's a good pocket between the next cluster of lap traffic, but he's stuck mired right in the middle, dive bombing to GT Irizarry. This is lap traffic for the 98, leading right now, a lap and a half away from winning here for the Wine Country Clash here at Sonoma.
What a job he's done tonight. I mean, he's made it where we haven't questioned one bit at all tonight if he was going to be the driver up front. It was going to take a major mistake here, and right now on this penultimate lap, looking smooth, making it through lap traffic here as he winds through 10.
Through 10, heading down to 11. 2 lap cars still in front of our leader, Isaac Shelley. Will we see Carl Pooler slipping and sliding, overcorrects into the outside wall, and luckily got out of the way. I know he was out of control, but that was a controlled wreck, really, from that 71.
Yeah, that was controlled by Carl. I think he noticed what the situation was there, and he said, "I'm getting out of the way."
Ride Rad, a white flag is out in the air. As Ride Rad, thank you for being our white flag sponsor, as it's going to be Isaac Shelley. 15 seconds is the difference between himself and Danny Cochran, and Cochran is saving fuel. Can he make it to the end? Time will tell, but Isaac Shelley just cruising around down here into turn number 4. He's got 5 through the S's and just about a half a lap to go here, Zach.
Hey, I'm still mind blown by this 31 machine, still making it up the hill here, down almost into 4, and Shelley's coming down to the S's now. He's just drove a masterful race. I mean, you got to think last time was right there behind Cochran for majority of that race. Now going to come back here in the next season and dominate it this way.
As they continue to race their way down the hill, this 98, just that of a couple of corners to go through turn 10. 2 more corners, comes into the hard braking zone. No more lap traffic to truly worry about. He's got a nice little pocket in front of him, and through turn 11, 1 more kink. Your winner here at the Wine Country Clash, it is going to be Isaac Shelley. Redemption to the 98. He didn't win last season, but he'll win here today.
What a job by the 98, man. Great job to Isaac Shelley. Look at this. I can't believe my eyes out of turn 11. It's going to be Danny Cochran here, making it all 40 laps on 1 tank. I'm mind blown.
And then we got to move back to 10th place. They are at turn 4. The battle for 10th. It is Cedric Hunter, Cody Reed. It's Reed, who started all the way back in that of 34th position. Has been our biggest mover all day, side by side, trying to crack into the top 10, while Cedric Hunter is trying to defend down through the S's. Zach, it's our last couple of shots. Will Cody Reed have to use the bumper?
Here comes Cody Reed. One last shot, like you said, here coming down. He's got to set him up here out of 10. If you ain't got to run out of 10, it's going to have to be a giant lunge out of 11 here. But we'll see what he has here coming out of the high-speed right-hander.
Out of 10, a little bit of a wiggle is going to come from the 13. Here comes the defensive positioning down below. Contact, spins him, get out of the way. Cody Reed gonna be just taking 10th place like that. And for karma, might be for Cedric Hunter, but a blatant just send it by Cody Reed to get into the top 10. And for Cedric Hunter, he drops all the way back to 13th position.
Yeah, Cody Reed said, you know what, last lap, last corner, doesn't matter, truck in front of me. You're going to get out of my way, because he made it happen, man. They're 10th position from 34th. What a drive. And I think not going to be a happy 13, but you know, had some love from some other drivers in the race too from him.
Just went in, got aggressive, but at that point, you had a sense he was going to wreck him for that position, and got it done. It was Cody Reed. As we go back up to our leader, who's going to go have some fun, and that is Isaac Shelley, cruising with his teammates. And right now, for that of Isaac Shelley, I got to say, this is certainly an interesting time for himself, as these drivers, Zach, I mean, a time for our leaders as Isaac Shelley gets to burn it down here tonight, but the dominance, Shelley no one was even close to this 98.
Yeah, nobody nowhere even close, man. I mean, it took Danny Cochran doing a no stop to be somewhat close. I mean, so what a job by Shelley. He put on a performance here tonight, and He definitely showed he was prepared for this race.
Prepared, and they certainly got it done. Burning it down is the 98. He's going to go have some fun pacing, and for us up at the booth, we're going to step aside. When we come back, it's the post-race show. We got our top three get their thoughts on how tonight went, as they were the same top three from last season, but a very different order that they are in. We'll be back in just a few moments here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You got myself, Sam Dyer. We got Zach Hall, and as well, Rob Moyer running productions in the background. But joining us, going to be our top three here this evening. We're going to start things off with third place finisher here for the Wine Country Clash. That is going to be Trenton Jump in the 46. Going to be coming away third place. Trenton, it's Sam and Zach up at the booth. Third place, obviously not where you wanted to finish. You wanted to get the win here tonight, but how are you feeling with the way this race kind of turned out with everybody?
I'm kind of just glad I'm survived. It was a big field, and I mean the way game chat's on right now, it's pretty ugly. But I don't know. Came out with a clean truck. I had a 4X, but it's not a big deal. Ran a good race. Probably could have done a few things different. I didn't really work on race pace all week this week, but no, it was good. I'm happy with third. It's been a rough season. We didn't get wrecked tonight, so that's a plus. So just working on points race and trying to climb back up on the point standings.
Yeah, definitely a good climb back up here tonight, Trenton. Congrats on that, man. Getting up to third. It was a very good run from you here, man, tonight. But got an off week. Then we head to Pocono, Bristol, and Atlanta, man. It's some completely three different tracks. How you feel about this upcoming part of the schedule?
Not a big short track guy, so I'm not excited about Bristol, but I'll deal with it. But Pocono and Atlanta. Pocono will be fun, and Atlanta will just be, I don't know, crapshoot. So, but yeah, tonight was fun. I like Sonoma. It's a fun track to drive. I just do not like racing here, so to come home third is definitely a big plus.
I mean, congratulations, Trent, on the third place finish for yourselves. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the admins of the ISRC Truck Series for putting this deal together, and Freaky Fast for broadcasting this deal. I love going back and watching the broadcast, especially like it's weeks like this. We're on the podium, and my painter Justin at Color Teal Graphics does such a good job on my trucks, and our whole team. He's our sponsor of our team this year. So, but yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, boys.
That's going to be the 46 at Trenton Jump coming away with third place finish here tonight at Sonoma. Congratulations on that. We'll see you in 2 weeks and good luck at Pocono. As we head from set out of third place, we go to second place where the Miracle did strike for the 31. Came away with the fuel strategy to at least finish up in second place. Danny, it's Sam and Zach. You came away with second. You knew we heard that you were going to try this strategy out. I know it didn't get you the win, but how are you feeling on the fact that you were able to stretch it out all the way to the end of this race on one fuel stint?
I mean, I'm certainly glad that I was able to pull it off. I just wish we could have got one spot better there. But I think regardless of strategy, it would have been Isaac winning either way. Shelly was really fast tonight, and he had the fastest car here and was the deserving winner. But yeah, I'm still really happy I was able to stretch it all the way. I don't know if I really picked up as much as I thought I would because I ended up in roughly the same place I thought I'd finish the race. But everybody else's tires fell off on Hot Sam. I don't know what he was doing different. Maybe we need to, take a little bit more time on that 98 and tech inspection after this race. But he had something figured out where his tires weren't falling off, and he definitely deserves this win tonight.
Well, I gotta say, Danny, from us over in the booth, I doubted it from the very beginning. Making it on fuel, man. How close was it, and how'd you make that happen? Because we're a lot of people saying around 35 to 36 laps. I mean, you had to go almost 10 miles more there extra on fuel.
Yeah. So what I done, and I figured this out yesterday. Last night I was practicing some. I figured out if I didn't shift down into second, like at all, you could make it and have like 2/10 of a tank left, 2/10 of a gallon left in the tank after the end of 40 laps. So I thought I'd save enough time by doing that, or by not pitting, that it'd make up for what I lost, but it didn't, unfortunately. But yeah, I tried a couple stints with it last night, and then I done one a little bit before the session went up tonight. I thought it could work, and I guess it did work, but just not quite the result we were hoping for.
I know it wasn't the result that you wanted, Danny, but you're part of what I call our notable drivers tonight. I mean, 30th on back of drivers that we feel like could be up in the 16, if not the top 10 of drivers in pace. Do you feel like this is good momentum, at least in some fashion, to start heading in the right direction as you came into tonight 33rd in points, and a second place seems like it's still a good place to be?
Oh yeah, don't take me being a little bit dejected over second as me not being thrilled about the finish. Yeah, it's certainly good to finally have a good result. Our momentum really turned around last week after I had some connection issues and went 3 laps down. We came back, battled our way up into the top 10 at the end of the race. So I feel like our momentum turned around last week and we finally got it swinging in our direction. So hopefully after tonight, I'll be back inside the top, or be for the first time this season up inside the top 30 in points. I think I don't have any concerns about making the playoffs. I know we're gonna have some great runs, and I'm not too worried about it. I'm just thrilled my luck is finally turning around a little bit.
It was a great run on the fact that you made it 40 laps for us in the booth. We called it a miracle, but obviously you felt confident about it. Congratulations on second place. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, Larry Arts Productions, obviously, for being on the hood of this thing tonight. Logan's Lead, Kentucky Bluegrass Sports Talk Radio, all those guys that decided to put their logo on the door or the hood of the 31 this season. Really appreciative of that. Any of my friends and family watching at home, you guys for broadcasting, and anybody that's just watching this race, man. It adds a whole other element when you do this stuff to have people at home taking time out of their evenings to watch you. So I just wanted to thank everybody for that, and looking forward to seeing you all either next week or the week after next at Pocono. I know we got an off week coming up, but still looking forward to our future this season, and can't wait to get after it next time we're on track.
And that next time is going to be in 2 weeks. We got next week off. Danny, congratulations here tonight for second place, and good luck in 2 weeks when we head to Pocono.
Thank you.
As we go from second place, we go to victory lane, where we find the driver that was dominant, was the fastest car out, for fastest truck out there by over a second. If you go based off their best time, we got Isaac Shelley up in the booth. Isaac, I mean, the speed was there. Holy smokes, you were cruising like a rocket ship. How are you feeling after that one?
Pretty good. Yeah, really fast truck. Yeah, and I feel like I still had some more in the tank. We were so fast, there was no point in going 100%. So, yeah, finally got the first win. Hopefully, more to come.
Yeah, definitely a big win, Isaac, man. Congrats on it. Definitely a dominant performance also, Coming in here tonight, it looks like you were in 18th position there in points, and it's been a tough season other than that 6th place finish at Homestead. How's it feel to get a win and maybe get your season on the right track?
Yeah, I kind of screwed up last week. I spun by myself and then put myself in the back with all the Goonies and got in their accident. So that was on me last week. But yeah, to come out here and just, dominate, and it wasn't even close. It feels really good. But again, I'm not the best oval racer, so I'm looking forward to going back to running about 12th next week.
Well, Isaac, with this win, you now have an opportunity, if you're in the top 20 in points, to go get locked into the playoffs. How does that feeling, knowing that you got this win in your back pocket to try to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we'll definitely be fine as far as the top 20 in points. I think we'll make the top 16 even if we didn't get a win. But yeah, I'm just here for wins, and if I can maybe grab the championship, that'd be a bonus. But I just want the checkered flags and do the burnouts at the end of the race. But yeah, maybe that viewpoint on it will change now. Maybe we won't really focus on points. We'll try and put ourselves in positions to win more races. But yeah, we'll see when that opportunity comes.
Well, Isaac, it was a pleasure to watch you absolutely dominate here tonight. But before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, Liberty Auctions, the Thompson Service Group, for me Racing Graphics, and everybody on the Planet Sim team. Thomas and Jarrett. Thomas didn't have the night he wanted, but Jarrett in top 5, and we got the win. So still a good night for us. Yeah, looking forward to wherever we go next.
Well, that is going to be your winner here tonight, Isaac Shelley in the 98. Congratulations on your win, and good luck in 2 weeks when we head to Pocono.
All right, man. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
And you too, Isaac, as we get ourselves prepared. Again, like we told the drivers, we got ourselves a week off next week from Monday Night Racing. But, Zach, I think for the drivers, they might need a week off. It's probably going to help them after these last two to 3 weeks we've had.
Yeah, it's definitely that time where everybody needs a little bit of a break to get back out of it, because we had a short off season, a really short off season, so it kind of all the emotions from that off season carried into this season, and now we get this little bit of break. I think it'll definitely help, and also a track like Pocono maybe calm the guys down a little bit, but you never know, those restarts, they could get pretty wild too.
And then what's going to make 2 weeks even more interesting, it's a timed race at Pocono. It was an accidental thing that happened during season 1, but it's now a purposeful timed race. We don't even know how long the race is going to be, but that Pocono race in 2 weeks should be interesting. But for tonight, let's take a look at what our unofficial results look like, as we got to talk to our top 3, Isaac Shelley, Danny Cochran, and Trenton Jump. Brandon Colley able to find himself in a 4th place position. Going to be a great finish for the 94 that's been needing a solid run. Kind of similar to the same that Danny Cochran's in, with needing a good finish. Then you're going to have that of Jarrett Talmadge going to be in 5th. Nick Crawford going to be in 6th, with Mark Whitley 7th. John Forbes in that of 8th. 9th goes Ollie Fonseca. And after absolutely destroying and moving Cedric Hunter, Cuddy Reed, again, white flag, big movements. He's going to finish out with a 10th place finish here tonight.
Yeah, man. I tell you, if you look through the rest of this order too, there's definitely some guys who had some tough nights out there, and I think the biggest one that stuck out to me, Zach Wilton running up in the top 5, down there in 32nd position, just having that heartbreak of the DQ there, and having to come to pit road, serve the penalty, and only going to be able to make it back to 30 seconds. So tough night for him. Also a tough night for a lot of other guys who got DQ'd and got knocked out of this race, but Sonoma's just that type of place.
Sonoma was tough. It was rough. A lot beating and banging went on. But like I said, 2 DQs, that of Thomas Green and that of Gio Turpin. Tyler Dangler, 1 incident point off from being disqualified and being the 3rd driver, but luckily didn't get that incident point. But for tonight, Isaac Shelley finding himself into victory lane. And Zach, a 2-week break, like we said, going to be good for these drivers. Pocono should be an interesting test on how these drivers attack. But for tonight, what are some of your final thoughts?
Well, final thoughts are Isaac Shelley, dominant performance. Congrats to him. He definitely deserved that. That was no doubt just from start to finish his race. But Danny Cochran, I mean, I think he said they need to check out the 98. They need to check him out for maybe a reserve fuel tank or something there extra, because that was pretty impressive. And for getting actually word from our producer too, Ali Fonseca didn't make it too. So, man, I tell you, it's definitely an interesting night. Guys pulling different strategies, but what a race we put on here, and can't wait to be back in 2 weeks at Pocono for that timed race where you never know what is going to go down.
It really don't. But for the rest of this week, though, we do have racing coverage here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Tomorrow night, we got the Full Send Racing Series, as that is with the Xfinity cars. A spectacular finish at Daytona last week. Well, how are they going to capitalize and make that even better as they go to Kansas tomorrow night? Then on Wednesday, it's Wicked Racing League going to be having themselves another race this season. And then on Thursday, it's going to be having these drivers at the Stars and Stripes Cup Series. They know how to put on a show and get aggressive. How aggressive can they be on Thursday? You'll have to find out. Then we got Friday off, and then we're right back to some amazing racing action with that going to be on Saturday and then Sunday, and then we're off for a week. Zach, for us at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, it's not just the drivers that get next week off, us as well. We get a little bit of break at Freaky Fast.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice break, not only for the drivers here, but also for us at Freaky Fast. We'll have some vacation time. Everybody time to go out and get themselves with their friends and family and do some stuff. So, man, I tell you, I can't wait for it. I can't wait to be back also, so we can be right back here in the booth calling this action. And it's gonna be a pleasure to be right back here on iRacing Live with Sam and Robert once again.
It is going to be a pleasure. And during that next week off break for us here at Freaking Fast Broadcasting, don't you worry, we're going to still have content coming. It might not be full races, but we do have content that we're going to be having going through the pipeline. So keep your eyes on that. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can be notified when those videos come up. It's not going to be live streams. It's going to be videos prepared for you. But for tonight, Isaac Shelley got the win here at Sonoma. Race number 4 goes to the 98. But in 2 weeks, we go timed racing at the Tricky Triangle. The time trial of the Tricky Triangle at Pocono. Who is going to survive? Who's going to calculate the numbers? And who is going to find themselves into victory lane? Well, all will be found out in 2 weeks. But if you want more racing action, keep on watching us throughout this week until we get to Sunday. Thank you for watching us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. For myself, Sam Dyer, for Zach Hall, for Robert Moyer. Thank you for being with us here tonight, and we'll see you on the next one.